A trellis can add lots of cottage garden charm to your little plot or collection of patio plants. And while you can buy a great trellis online or at your local garden center, you can also make one. In this video, I have gathered a range of unique DIY trellis ideas running the gamut from beginner to advanced skill levels. You can fashion a cheap trellis out of cut saplings and twine, or if you are handy with power tools, you can build an impressive freestanding pergola or an eye-catching honeycomb design to enhance a fence. Whether you need a structure for romantic flowering vines such as roses or mandevilla, or on the other, more practical side, vining veggies like cucumbers or pole beans, a trellis can take on a variety of forms. It might be a soaring obelisk, an arc to set off a pathway or entrance, a lean-to ladder for bees to climb, or an attachment to a wall or fence. A large, flat trellis can also be used as a privacy wall or divider for a patio or garden room. If you are looking for something to use instead of a trellis, try repurposing a salvaged window, ladder, or pallet. With a little ingenuity, you can even transform a set of old garden tools into a trellis-like structure. One thing is for sure, whatever your skill level, budget, purpose, or style, whether modern or rustic, you will find a trellis project idea here to suit you. A salvaged window proves the perfect spot for a climbing vine. There are many shapes and sizes of garden trellises. They can differ drastically in their design, material, and the ease of construction. Tall, gate, and tunnel-like trellises are called arbors and pergolas. Simple trellises are easy to make from readily available materials or are affordable to buy. Among them, there are many simple DIY designs that were used in gardens for centuries. Practically, there are no simple arbor trellises or the ones that would be strong to support tall, creeping plants such as wisteria. But simple trellis designs are the ancestors of all other modern trellises. If you are not looking to achieve aesthetic perfection, the simplest forms of trellis will do the job. Yes, they will be unsightly until the vines grow over them, but there is your additional motivation to nurture healthy, lush plant growth. Trellis made of poles and vertically stretched rope or wire are traditionally used to support grapevines. For something that takes little effort to build, they are very lasting. If you have more climbing crop plants, you can upgrade the previous simple garden trellis to serial triangular trellis, but in a more organized, space-saving way. A lot like a tent base, it has wires coming down from the upper wooden pole axis along the entire length of it, creating a larger surface for vertical plant growth. you are growing dense creepers to grow over the entire structure, then I suggest you to create some wire mesh trellis, which is probably the most unsightly in the categories of garden trellises, but they are excellent because mesh can be used to imitate pergolas for very little money, and they can look awesome when they are overgrown with greens. Or you can also repurpose curtain rod to create wall trellises. Such trellises can be created by crossing a few old antique looking curtain rods and fixing them to an outer wall. That's really simple. If you have old wagon wheels, you can convert them to a very beautiful trellis. Or if you can't find a wagon wheel, you can use a much more easily available bike wheel or a combination of several bike wheels. You can also have vertical boards tied with a rope to connect the garden tools. Such projects does not require use of tools, not even a hammer. You can also create a circular standalone trellis because trellises don't always have to lean against bigger surfaces or be straight. You can create circular garden trellis that will be a simple metal standalone structure, and refreshingly it will create an arrangement in the midst of a lawn. And if you love bamboos, then yes, you can go for some bamboo grid to create a beautiful trellis, because bamboo trellis will provide the same function as the classic wooden grid square trellis do. However, it is easier to do it yourself because it uses knots instead of drilling, sawing and hammering to secure the bamboo poles in place and create a shape of the trellis. Since square and rhomboid trellises are a gold standard, as anything so typical, the shape can get a bit boring for some people. Fortunately, you are not limited to typical designs only. You can also create some trellises for your garden by combining different geometric shapes to create an extraordinary trellis, which will support your plants equally well. Arched gate trellis is a classic for sporting creeping rose variety, or you can also have some birch tree wedding trellises. Or you can also go to some advanced trellises. In this category, you will find arbors and pergolas, trellis gates and tunnels, which represent a major investment but also a striking, long-lasting decoration which will shape your entire garden. Because of their complexity, advanced trellises are often bought or professionally custom-made. The only thing to be careful about is the sun. If you have a tall, dense wall surrounding your garden, that might decrease the exposure for your plants, especially in the months when the sun is low. Or you can also create some asymmetrical wooden trellis because it is interesting of its atypical asymmetrical shape. If you imagine such trellises with vines over it and compare it with standard square shaped or arched arbors, you will easily realize how such designs bring some originality into trellis and landscape design. Such shapes make it possible for modern, minimalistic, Japanese or other Asian style gardens. Or you can also use antique iron rods or elements to create some trellis and arbors. Since trellises and arbors have been around for a long time, with some luck, you might be able to find antique wrought iron trellis that doesn't cost a fortune. Well, sometimes the owners are not really aware of what their old trellis is really worth, or they don't have time to find the right buyer, or they have assessed that the construction is in really bad shape. That is why it might end up in a junkyard. Finding your trellis at the junkyard can be a real adventure. If you don't find a classic like the one big or small, metal or wooden, homemade or store-bought. One thing is sure, besides providing support for your beautiful creeping plants, trellises will shape your entire garden. They can add the finishing touch that will make your green space stand out from all others. I tried my best to provide you with some really amazing garden trellis ideas. So what kind would you like to have in your garden? Feel free to drop a comment, and I hope you will like this video. Please share it with your friends and family. Subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon on so you may get all the notifications of our upcoming videos. See you in some other video. Till then, take care.